Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a slab showcase and review for the slab from ARS Grading, which is based in Japan. I recently submitted a few cards for a cross-grading experiment, which I will be posting a video on the results of that in a few days. But before that video went live, I wanted to do a quick showcase of the ARS slab itself. To provide some information to anyone who may not be familiar with ARS grading. So, like I said, ARS grading is based in Japan and only accepts submissions from a Japanese address. So, the ways that you can submit to ARS is one, and obviously the easiest is to live in Japan. But there are ways around it for people who don't live in Japan, like myself. You can use proxy addresses, or there are middleman services available as well. And the other unique thing about ARS is you can't just submit cards whenever you want. They have dedicated submission windows every 1 to 2 months that you need to wait for to open up in order to submit your order. And those submissions are capped at 20 cards per submission, and it's limited to 1 submission per address. So it's actually pretty tough to get your cards in, and it's pretty exclusive. And from what I understand, ARS has been gaining a lot of steam. Obviously has a great base of fans in Japan, but it's making a lot of noise outside of Japan as well. And in my opinion, that is just because of the aesthetic of the slab. It looks extremely clean, very professional, and it looks so much better than a lot of the other slabs that we're used to seeing. So what we'll do today is I will just go through the slab's features, and I'll also kind of highlight and discuss how the grading works at ARS, and then you'll see the cross-grading results in the next video. But the first thing you're probably noticing is that the label is down here at the bottom. Pretty much every company that you can think of that's super mainstream, like PSA, BGS, CGC, Tag, all have the label at the top. ARS has it at the bottom. They're not the only company that does it at the bottom, but that is more of a unique characteristic since the majority of companies do have it at the top. And the really cool thing about the label is the quality of this. So the label is a sheet of stainless steel, and the card information is actually engraved into the stainless steel itself. Again, making just a really, really clean aesthetic. It honestly looks like a piece that belongs in a museum. It looks very, very cleanly put together. The other thing about the label is that you can choose to have the information written in Japanese or in English. I submitted a Japanese card, so I went with the Japanese labels. You'll see the card name, set, the year, and what kind of release it was. This one obviously being a promo card. The other thing that you may be noticing that's different is with the label here, there is no grade showing. The grade on ARS slabs is actually on the back. So that I don't know of many other companies that do that. You get the grade on the back, and you also have a QR code here that takes you to the card's information page itself. So it obviously has the card's information, the card name, the set, the year, and all that good stuff. It also obviously has the grading information, and it also brings up the pop report for this individual card. So super accessible and really easy to find information on your card itself. But again, obviously the big difference, aside from having the label on the bottom, is the grade being on the back. And I actually think that that is a super cool feature because when you are looking at the card from the front like this, it makes the artwork and the card itself the complete focal point, which in my opinion, as you know, is how it should be. Very often, even for someone like me who doesn't much care about the grade itself, is much more interested in the card, I'll even find myself at card shows, like just my eyes will naturally just glance up toward the top label to see the associated grade. But with this instance, if you want to look at the card, you look at the front, and the card then is the focal point because the grade is back here. So I think that's a really awesome feature that really helps put emphasis on the card art itself, which again is what I personally love to collect, and I know many other people love to collect as well. And then on the grading, so you saw this one got a 9. ARS grades on a scale of 1 to 10 with a elevated grade beyond 10 of 10 plus. I don't know this for sure, but the sentiment that I've seen online on forums and speaking to other collectors and in other YouTube videos regarding ARS returns is that ARS is actually a pretty tough grading company. I have seen the sentiment that people have submitted 10s as cross grades or cracked out 10s and sent, and they did not come back as 10s. So what I'm gathering and what I've noticed in my submission, you'll see the results in the next video, is that ARS is a very, very tough grading company, obviously, especially on vintage cards. The case may be different for modern given the improvements to the print quality, but just old cards naturally having more wear and tear to them. It's very, very hard to get 10s and even 10 pluses when it comes to vintage cards. And then on the topic of grading, so what's unique about ARS is solely focused on the physical condition of the card. They do not factor in any kind of factory or manufacturing traits into their grades. So they do not consider things like centering. That is not a physical condition of the card. That is part of the manufacturing process. So no centering. And I think they also don't count towards print lines either. It is just the sole physical condition of the card itself. I know obviously centering is something that very easily dings grades with other companies like PSA, but that is not something that is factored in here. Again, it's just the condition of the actual card itself has nothing to do with the centering or anything like that, which I think is pretty interesting. And then the other thing that I think is, maybe you haven't noticed yet because I haven't turned the card, but the slabs themselves are super thick. Your card is definitely very well protected in here. And the slab itself actually has a pretty good bit of weight to it for a slab. I actually have, let me grab, I have a PSA slab right here. And if I just like stack them together, you can see the difference. The ARS slab is honestly like double the thickness of the PSA slab. So, the card is definitely very well protected within this case. And the other thing that I have noticed since getting these slabs back is the perfect fit placement for the card. An issue that I've had a lot with PSA slabs is the cards rattling inside, but the ARS slabs are designed to have perfect fit so your card does not move at all, which I really like. Obviously, whether the card rattles or not, the grade on the card is the same, but I always found the rattling to be somewhat annoying. But this definitely puts me at ease knowing that this is one, a beautiful slab to look at, and two, the card is extremely well protected within this slab in particular. And the other thing I'll share that I got from ARS, this is an optional add-on that you can throw with your grades. You don't have to get this, but I wanted to for my first cross-grading submission, but you do have the option to get a certificate of authenticity, proving that it is, as they say, ARS genuine. It has the card information, it has the grade, it has the date, and then of course it also has the QR code that will take you to the same page that's on the back of the slab itself, the card information, and the pop report. Thought it was super cool to have this to go along with my cards, is just as an additional layer of authenticity. So when you submit a card, if you decide to get the certificate, this is what you end up walking away with. But that was a quick synopsis on ARS grading and the slabs themselves. Again, I think these are the best looking slabs that the market has to offer. I'm actually very interested in slowly converting a portion of my personal collection over to ARS. Let me know your thoughts on ARS grading. Do you have any ARS slabs? What your favorite grading company is to grade with at the moment? You will probably see ARS featured more on my channel in the future. Very excited to slowly send some of my higher end cards over there to get them in this super cool, like museum-esque aesthetic. But as always, I appreciate you checking out the video. I'll see you in the next one.